with us, right? So
Correct.
I would like to give you first the microphone because rumor says that you have a lot of news for us. So why don't you just go ahead? Microphone's yours.
You know, I'm happy to let Laura go first. That's fine.
Because I think yeah.
Yeah, guy.
Whatever you like.
Yeah, no, that would be fine. That would be fine. I don't have any concern. If you want me to go first, I certainly will. But I was looking forward to hearing what Laura had to say.
So yeah, where do we begin?
Yes, so where do we begin? So first of all, Lara, welcome to us. This is a great honor to have you with us here. Of course, for many of us, we are not very familiar with what's going on in your home country, and we would please first start with just tell us about you. Who are you? Who is Lara?
I'm the granddaughter of survivors of the Armenian genocide. Mm-hmm. We have crossed paths. We shared DNA.
Oh, one moment. Someone need, yeah. One moment. Let's mute you. Unmute you again. Yes.
It works? Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, activist, advocate, therapist, almost doctor, studied banking, law, human rights, all of this. And right now we don't have a government. And it's been 10 years. I refuse pharmaceuticals. As a therapist, I never opened the diagnostics manual myself. I was telling Hagar a while ago that 2 years ago we did a fundraiser for the explosion victims, and our central banker, he robbed us. But instead of blaming the world, you know, I studied banking, law, this and that, and we went Interpol on him. And we were featured in New York Times, Washington Post, and we led the revolution 2019. So frontliner, Beirut explosion, miracle survivor. I empower people, you know. We've done lots of similar things, music, dance, natural things. And yeah, when I needed help, when I had one Pfizer, I didn't want to take it. So as a former UN staff, I'm super concerned at what WHO and World Economic Forum bring us. I'm also an artist. We sing, we dance, and Armenian General Benevolent Union. And we even have places where we honor every victim of every genocide. Never Again is global. Even in the midst of COVID, we united around 300 of us last year, and we stood up. We made Never Again for every nation. We even have a synagogue. And Shlomo, a beautiful judge from Israel, took me in 2 months ago because he saw leadership potential. And he himself saw what Netanyahu was going to do. He tore up the constitution. He left to Cyprus. So I'm planning to go meet Shlomo in person and to pay him. So we've worked with Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, amazing scientists, researchers. And yeah, I never found any help from doctors. So I messaged James. I think it was Witches of Salem, the Salem witch hunt information, which I've staged. I do theater as well. And yeah, I think James and the amendments, he puts it very well on his Substack. And Israel and Lebanon, I've been begging and asking for this. This is really an honor. This whole idea of hatred does not exist. On the contrary, I have beautiful friends. We even met in Cyprus in 2015. We wanted to meet at the borders. They told us, no, you can't. It's dangerous. And yeah, it was. We said, okay, we'll meet somewhere else. We met in Cyprus, and we posted Adva, Israel and Lebanon meet in Cyprus, even though they told us don't post, but we did. So I have people around the world of every nation. My father, my family, they've been to Jerusalem, they have the tattoos. So I do my own work. I have a massage table here. I've worked on, you know, the children who lost parents kept me going. Yeah, and even with banks, I'm fixing things. We're doing beautiful things, rebuilding. We even moved on, you know. All these governments were like in it together in the end.
Yes, that's indeed what we are learning.
We are united, and my target is to empower, you know, to tell people that you are not alone. Simply. And I have a beautiful brother. His name is Dror. My niece, she was also vaccine injured for 9 months. She was a mess. Me also for a while, but I never stopped walking, even when they told me you're not gonna walk. Yeah, and I was in World Council for Health for a while, and other networks. And I do my own work. And I did several programs. One of them was Leaders of the Future. I donated to every country where needed. And yeah, I'm an artist, activist. And yeah, I'm concerned at what I personally saw chemtrails 2 days ago. And some people are doing ugly things on the streets. Guys we led during the revolution. So I was called conspiracist, which is not true. Yeah, I have a futurist capacity also, and I saw 2022 coming, and I said, "Oh, I have to go global." You know.
Yeah.
And we even have in Tyre the Star of David. So we have friends, people, always communicating. My niece and Dror's children, they played video games together. There's no separation.
Yeah, it really goes to show that there is and there shouldn't be any distance between people anywhere in the world.
And you know, it's just a minority.
I completely see with just hearing this, and I'm seeing Faraz saying this in the chat, that why he calls you Lara Croft.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Faraz
completely
was
see
one
why.
of those beautiful people who stood by me for months and months. Natalie as well. It's an honor. Yeah, my target is to empower and to bring the message. One of the most important messages was, we do have money in the bank, you know, locked up. But my message was, no one has to suffer if they don't have finances. That was the only.
Yeah, so the question really is, and that's the main question. I think that a lot of people makes a lot of people curious here. You said there is no government in Lebanon. What is there? What is there at this moment? What do you have?
At the moment, we refuse to elect the same crooks. So
there hasn't been any elections in how long? Or
1 year probably. He resigned last year. And yeah, I've worked for I left UN 10 years ago. Because the way UN is designed is to make people sick, tight building syndrome, 90% recycled air, and forget COVID, forget vaccines. For the flu shot once, the way they do it is they put you in one room and then they lock you up in another room and they make you take it so that you continue to work. I did it once and then I said, no, I don't want to. So my family doctor and the UN doctor, they accepted to do to sign that I don't want to take it. So at the time, my sister was going through a divorce. So I've been on both sides of the system. It took me 2 days to see through their lies. But, you know, and even hospital, I was hospitalized. I had depression. So I've tried medication. It did not work. Like I have a nice list, what they deplete. And doctors tried hard to label me. I'm fine. You know, they were surprised how I got better in only 6 days. My niece kept me going because she would say, you and I are the only ones in the family who have the eye power. Because she also remembers, she says, the before I was born. So yeah, I named what I do a campaign, a gift, the miracle of life. And yeah.
And then this is how you really help people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and for a while I did free sessions because, you know, the people, I do it still if they cannot afford. I do not let, when people ask, I don't say no. And even churches, army, and we have a nice general. I really hope he becomes president. Right now we refuse to elect.
And when you say we refuse, what does that mean? Because
we the people
are the
we
people,
the people.
But do you mean to say, for example, that the people, the Lebanese people as a group are already, all of them are aware of what's going on and then
you
do
know,
not cooperate?
Most are not. I'm surprised of one thing: journalists, doctors, reporters who agreed to join the team ditched me.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
and when I was reaching out last week to several reporters and some of them in courts, as women who led the revolution, we were asked to go to court. Some of us were even going to be in prison, some were. But I've even worked in prisons for 10 years, catharsis, drama therapy. We free people. We refuse to label people. I refuse to label. I even take people out of hospitals, put them in my home. I even have a place 10 minutes from here. I'm rebuilding it, and it's a 2-story, 150-year-old house. My great grandmother, she came before the genocide, and moving there, putting more massage tables, natural herbs. Think we have a beautiful garden in the mountains. And yeah, when I was sick, I used to go to nature, vitamin D, sunlight, earth. I was telling Hagar, pine needle, ginger, turmeric, and onions to detox.
And yes, you say it works. Yeah.
Yes, it does. And even in Australia, I saw an article. Yeah, Nasrallah should be like, oh my God. I think he's over soon. You know, what I told some people, stay in the system, guys, and clean it from inside. There are good people. Yeah,
so,
you know, very few buy into this lie that there's no hatred.
Yeah. So then you're saying that the people are actually getting together and are helping each other, and this is so all this, everything that you're saying about treating people and about building a hospital or building a clinic for people, that all comes from just your connections that are all together, working all together to make that. Now, probably because there is no government, I think then there is no nobody really stands on your way. I understand. Is that correct?
No, there are beautiful groups who are all activists, and yeah, you know, they're all in it together. That it's very simple.
That's the way it should be. So you're saying that if you had to give a tip for us now, we are here at this moment. We are 175 people. What would be your best tip on how to get people together?
To communicate, you know, because many people are ashamed of reaching out. I engage. One of the things I do is I go out. I don't talk. I smile, and according to if the person reacts, I talk to people. And even during all the crises that are happening, instead of flowers, we got each other vegetable bouquets, and to make things sustainable, solar panels, and yeah.
So okay.
And yeah, we brought laughter, joy, and dance, singing, and as frontliner, yeah, I've seen a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I mean, one would expect, for example, that if there is no government, that it would be chaos, you know, because people will not see how they can.
Yeah, you know, there's sometimes chaos creates, and the gratitude also. It was my choice, simply the mere act of gratitude, to stop medication. People are united, and I was surprised 2 days ago when people who live 5 minutes away had no idea what was going on, but now they know. And next week we're meeting even in bigger numbers. So every weekend we would meet, 5 of us, even did Shabbos and Yiddish, Hebrew. So yeah, my message is simple. Governments don't care about the people, but people are united. And no, the people love each other. We love Israel. We love, we even have a synagogue.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a picture of this
beautiful.
synagogue. It is really beautiful.
Yeah. And we meet weekly with Shlomo. And anyone can book a call with Shlomo, and he will open another program soon.
Oh, that would be interesting. Can you let us know how we can contact him?
Of
You can also put
course.
this on the chat.
I'll find the link later. I don't want to take much of your time. I want to
No,
honor.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can find the link in a while and give it. Yeah. Miriam,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, thank you
Let's
very
give
much.
Miriam, yeah.
Yes,
Next.
and so basically, and how does it go about now? So you say people are getting together and they are helping each other, bringing food, bringing help and support in many ways. Is this, do you see this only like in Beirut, or do you see this also outside throughout the country?
Throughout the country, all over. Yeah, all over.
And so you basically, you travel around, you drive around, and you see.
I do.
People help.
Yeah, I do. Some days I don't, when I feel it's dangerous, because sometimes there are shootings. Yeah, so no, we are united, and yeah.
And how do you communicate with the people? Like, do you have, because I get the impression that internet is not always stable everywhere. Like right now you're in the city.
I hotspot.
Your hotspot.
Yeah, or I go and talk to people. I visit people. I talk to them.
Yes. And so what do they tell you then? Do they connect you then with other people? Do they?
Yes, they do. They do. And they were very happy. I even showed them the videos. A friend from Spain who is half Jewish sent me from Israel. I shared it with a lot of people here, and they were so happy. So, you know, that's how united we are.
And yeah, I suppose
no.
Can you please mute yourselves? One moment. I don't know who's was. בבקשה, שמרו על מיוט אם אפשר.
אני רציתי לשאול איך למנוע את הזריקות.
היא הסבירה ויש תרגום בצ'אט, אני נסביר לך אחר כך. בסדר, פנינה? She was just asking how she wanted to clean up the damage from the injections, but I told her that you said about this and that this is on the chat. You already answered. Okay, and then
לי אין, אבל יש שלטון בארצות הברית שהם רוצים בכוח לתת לנו את הזריקות, ואני לא רוצה, הרבה אנשים לא רוצים, ואנחנו רוצים לדעת איך אפשר לברוח מההוא,
אנחנו עובדים על זה, פנינה, אנחנו עובדים על זה. אבל אם אפשר בבקשה רק לא להתפרץ, זה לא כל כך עוזר לנו כרגע. תודה. אנחנו מטפלים בזה, ואני מניחה שאולי את פעם ראשונה איתנו, אז אולי את לא כל כך מכירה, אבל אנחנו נשמח אם תצטרפי לנו למפגשים הבאים ותלמדי עוד. ויש כאן גם הוראות איך להרים יד ולבקש רשות לדבר. תודה. I have a question then for Faraz. Faraz, would you want to speak with us a little bit and tell us a little bit more about your story, because I know that you work together with Laara, and it would be nice to hear from you as well.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, well, inshallah, my sort of, I mean, of course, my journey, I can't really say is as intense as Lara's, but Allah has sort of put me on a kind of journey on the similar sort of way of thinking, the same way of thinking as Lara's, if I'm making any sense. I met Lara when me and her were both in the World Council of Health chat. And my mission, as a summary, my mission in life is same as hers, exactly, ditto mission. I think that's really one of my missions is work apart from, I've been sort of going on a sort of like a transition from always being a political activist and to realizing how the wider, bigger world system is so rigged. And really, I happen to be someone who I'm on a Sufi path here, Islamic Sufi path, and also I study Islamic eschatology. It is from my eschatological outlook I've come to recognize the reality of the world history, and the world where it is progressing, where it is heading, and what we should do about it. Those of us who are conscious, like people like me and Laara, who are conscious people of whatever faith. In fact, I actually believe that faith teaches this kind of consciousness, but not everybody whose consciousness realizes this. But I'm a person of faith who is conscious, and so is Laara. And what I was going to say is that one of the things we just cannot let things happen to us and rely on the system. We need to decentralize and start being inspired by how God shows us, especially through his holy books and his messengers, on how to remain conscious and carve our way out of slavery in the times that we're living now, the end times. And I'm especially following I want to be one of those people who are part of cementing Muslim and relations with other religions as well, especially Christian. Of course, I know there are people. You guys are, a lot of you, I would say, perhaps are people of the book, because we recognize other communities who follow prophets before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are people of the book, and I understand that many of you know who the who is about. Who's the who? Get it? Who the who? Okay, and what their game is. I mean, this is obviously my first dialogue with you guys, so this is based on my understanding so far. I think we all know that the WHO is more or less a tool, an enslavement tool, who are in league with the UN, the WEF, World Economic Forum. I don't know if you guys know about
Yes.
the Great Reset 2030.
Yes, of course we know. That is also something that connects us here, and we are very much aware of what's going on. We see this happening. We see everything progressing in Israel in the speed of the lightning, I might say. 15-minute cities, government that cancels the courts and the power of the courts, takes all the power to themselves, many other things, and they keep limiting the people more and more into more and more enclosed space and big cities, tall buildings, all of that. Yes.
Yes, so we're in a race against time now to try to carve our way out of this and make ourselves independent of the system and immunize ourselves. And I think we have to start with our money. We want to take ourselves away from the slavery of the paper monetary system. That's what I'm trying to get my communities to do, and also go back to gold and silver for money.
Yes, this is indeed a good choice and a good example of how to deal maybe with. So then, and that was really maybe the question that I have for Lara, if you're still on the line with us, Lara. And how do you? Yes, Lara.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a craft. She's a true craft. She's a zone raider, tomb raider.
That is
bouncy,
true.
bouncy.
Yes.
Beirut warrior.
Yeah. So probably a lot of people in Beirut just know her because she's everywhere. But
yeah, I know she's everywhere. Boing, 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 boing.
Yes.
But then
so then again, when we when you have a situation that there is no government, the money is not available. Yeah. How does this work really? Where do you get the means for basic living? How do you deal with this moment, Lala?
This moment, I have some clients, and I was finally able to convince to work with the banks in such a way to unlock at least each month $300, and this is the first month that they paid, and I have some clients who show up, and some pay, some don't, and let's see. I gave up around $50,000 to get 18,000 to rebuild and do my own thing. Yeah. And yeah, we are all super grateful. We are miraculously here and united, and I have crosses from Jerusalem, and I believe we will meet. I do.
Yes.
It's my dream. It's a dream. My father, he's been even he's been there, bicycle champion. Family has been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have many places where we honor every nation.
Yes. And I'm seeing here a question from Ed, that he says that there are some processes about. Did you mean about taking up the sovereignty of people? Is this something that is happening also in Lebanon? That you feel like, or that you feel like that because there is no government, you have actually more and more sovereignty for yourselves?
Yes, because hospitals, and whenever I try to get help, we hospitals, unless you pay $10,000, you cannot go in. So we learned how to do things. I don't want to call it alternative. They're not allopathic, Ayurvedic, and all of this. And the ministry is still pushing a list of 10 injections. And I've spoken to him, I've messaged them. even NGOs, they are all corrupt. So
yes.
I saw something in UK, and we pay 3 kinds of electricity bills, and so we went solar panels to do sustainable.
Yeah, but then again, you need someone to provide you with the solar panels. Install that on the roof of your house.
We did, yeah.
Do you have? Yeah. So where do you get all of that?
Lovely contractors. Also, my sister, she's an educator, youngest school principal since she was 27. She's 50 now. She's been around the world, New York, and my other sister works with refugee programs. We all traveled. She traveled during the past 3 years, and we work in such a way as to not push any agenda on countries. Like she went to Ireland, UK, Italy, etc., and like to respect every country's, not push their,
Yeah. That is, it's very interesting because like it really seems you are all finding the power and the courage.
Like Faraz said, we farm, we grow our own food, we feed each other, we take care of each other simply. And there was a time there was so much separation the past 3 years, but now I'm grateful people are finally regrouping. I guess it's a factor of people felt ashamed. They thought they were alone, but they're not.
Yeah, I'm seeing here a question as well from someone, I don't know the name, but they say, so you say, okay, we don't have a bank, we don't have money. You managed to convince the bank to give you some money every month. How, like, do you have gold set aside, silver?
I do have some stuff. I do have beautiful art. I have stones. I have beautiful things. But so
you sell
far,
these things actually.
I want to say I found someone who is finally interested, because people are buying things that are worthless. And finally, I met someone. I have beautiful antiques and silver, gold. We don't have much gold anymore. We gave away a lot. We don't need a lot of stuff. We have a huge factory still looking for a buyer, and it's possible, to start small. I started very small, and I convinced the bank that to unlock part of the money and find in a peaceful way, because some people went with guns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you just came to the manager of the bank and you told him, give me my money?
No, I called a few, kindness. I talked to people with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And they were super thankful that one person cared. And now I have several activists next week, hopefully, groups to join. And I hope they join. Yeah. And also, I don't know if you have 5G. We don't. Airplane mode. I don't sleep with the phone on.
Yes.
People's Health Alliance. Yes. I know PHA.
Yes. And so do you have, and there's another question here. So other than that, do you have the possibility to purchase cryptocurrency or online transactions and so on?
I do not trust in crypto.
You will not trust in crypto. Okay.
No.
Yeah. And you don't know that the government is doing anything. So it's basically, it seems like by what I'm hearing from you is that you are just left to figure it out completely on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow
I educated myself. No, I had every reason to blame the external world. Instead, no. I educated myself even more. I have like over 7 degrees, but I got refused several times because I could not finish the MA because of bombing. We would study under candlelight, and intercultural studies, be it the Torah, be it every book, every book. So, and there are beautiful movies where they show how every religion is one source, where consciousness. I don't do crypto.
Okay.
You know, there are two fundamental things wrong with the cryptocurrency. As far as I understand, with this blockchain mechanism, the first thing is the fact that you lose your privacy. You got no privacy. You know? And the second of all thing is that fundamentally it's electronic money. It's notes and ones. You can't take this and out of the system, hide it under your sofa now, can you? You need to do that with tangible money you've got in the hand, because once your stream of notes and ones gets switched off, you're cut out. And that is where it is. There's central digital banking. The banksters have already got wind of this blockchain, and they want to make digital dollar, digital pound. We want out. We don't. You know, this consultation process is all a farce. They're going to impose it on us anyway.
Yes, that is.
And I think digital IDs and I don't like it's worrisome. No, we don't have 5G. Our 4G barely works. I think we spared 90% of Lebanese. I never wanted to take it, but I waited 6 months, and one only made me very sick. But I never stopped. I mean, I kept working. But it breaks my heart, Israel, like the demographics, how they did it to people, and but there are ways. There are ways to detox. I will give tips.
Yes. All right, Faraz, do you have anything more to add or anything? I understand that you have to leave very soon, right? So
yes, I was just going to say, this is why we need. Me and Lara are part of a mission to try to look into how to slowly bring back gold and silver into our communities, and I've been also consulting with other people in the knowledge about this, like these sheikhs. I don't know if you heard of Sheikh Imran Hussein.
No, but
yeah, well, he actually came to Sheffield last week, and I met with him. He's going to put me in touch with somebody from South Africa who's already doing this, apparently quite successfully, and just see what happens there. But one wild idea I've had was to try to start some, in the meantime, while we've still got paper money, try to start some kind of socially focused, donation-based community bank, which is free from the system. So that's just a wild idea I had. It might work, we don't know, but it's something to try to enable our communities to try to be able to afford to invest towards gold and silver bullion in the medium term, and for the long term, be able to then have that gold and silver bullion to mint into coins.
That's very interesting. If you have more information for us, please do share this as this evolves, because it's a very interesting idea.
I'm the one that's been doing all the research for this so far. I mean, the help and the assistance has come in like dribs and drabs, and so finally there was a good opportunity I took to meet with the sheikh of eschatology, Imran Hussein, last week. So I mean, I'll get some help, and it was actually hard work trying to find people together onto my Telegram channel, people like Lara and a few others around the world, and I had a couple of locally pretenders join, but then they couldn't stick around, so they left. In a nutshell, but there's too many pretenders out there. You know, it's hard to find. You know, I'm so grateful for the genuine people I got. 2 are from America, genuine people. 1 from Lebanon, the Lara Croft.
Yes.
And there's myself, one from Iran. Yeah.
And I'm taking a couple more questions here from the chat. Is there any court system here? Anything at all? Do you have any systems functioning whatsoever that you can still a little bit rely on, or is it fully just the people?
Well, in the UK, it's not like Lebanon. In the UK, there is unfortunately, there is a functioning government. Does not function to our interests. So, and the people, the culture in the UK is not like it is in Lebanon. At least in Lebanon, you got more motivated people. They're supporting Lara and Lara's family support. So me, I'm completely, I'm working low key. My family are not yet, soon they will though, but they don't yet know too much about what I'm doing. What I want to do is get a sort of a milestone, something to show, that's some milestone progress to show for it before I can start breaking it to my family. This is the kind of activism I'm doing, and it's all worthwhile. I got to show it to them. It's worthwhile. In the meantime, it's inshallah, it'll slowly and surely happen, I believe, because the signs are looking good. The people who attended the meeting with Sheikh Imran Hussein last week, 5 out of 7, is still good. I'm going to link up with them as well to try to do something regarding our currency situation. You know, our politicians in the UK nonetheless have gone rogue on us, completely rogue. Absolutely. My local MP, which I once trusted, is dancing the Ukraine song. She's also dancing the WHO treaty song, and she's in favor of them. She's trying to defend it, and this is a Labour politician.
Yeah.
There's no difference between the parties. There's Tweedledum, Tweedledee, Tweedledee and a half. That's what we got. We have no representation. Humanity has no representation in most of world politics. If you try to represent humanity, they shut down your accounts. They turf you out. What happened to Imran Khan in Pakistan? What happened to Jeremy Corbyn? They snuffed him out. They snuffed them both out.
Yeah. And so the bigger question that is coming back to me here, also on the chat and everywhere else, is, okay, so we're setting up our own communities. What are we doing against the WHO? Us as the Israeli group now, we are trying, first of all, to find the people and reach their conscience and their awareness, to get them to understand that the bigger demonstrations that are taking place right now in across the country are not for the right thing. So we're trying to kind of turn their heads into the right direction, so that they can understand that the WHO is what the WHO has in store for us. What are you guys doing in terms, each one of you, and maybe first Lara, if you tell me, are you connected with other people to work against the WHO? What are you guys planning, and how can we connect? Eventually, the second question would be, how can we connect together to add to the effort? What are the plans?
Well, I'm doing my best this coming week, asking for a big meeting, not just 5-10 people. I want at least 20 or more. And we do go out on the streets. We do the same things, the same colors, the flyers against WHO, World Economic Forum, etc. And yeah, I really wish more people join, because there are amazing ones, but journalists, etc., doctors, all of them ignored me.
So you're saying that while you're doing things and you're standing on the street, people do not always come or really still understand what is happening.
No, what's interesting is when I go somewhere, just by existing, just by being kind, places where there used to be fights or violence, it no longer exists.
So yeah. I see what you're saying, and I kind of get the impression, of course, that because at least in Lebanon, people are so busy surviving right now on their own.
Yes,
they do not really need or have the capacity to understand what's going on with the WHO, and they don't care because it wouldn't change that. It wouldn't make a difference for them, really.
You said something very important. Some people do not care.
Yeah.
I care, and there are many TVs. One of them is the Revolution TV, and another for children, which both are connected to thousands of people, and we will meet and make it even bigger. We did the similar flyers, really. And many friends, we do Shabbos.
Yeah.
Even our cat relaxes on Yiddish music. Yeah.
Yiddish music. Yes. So basically, yeah. So then there isn't really it sounds like from what I'm hearing again that like even if something happens and the WHO tries to impose what's going on in Lebanon, people will resist it in the outset because it doesn't mean anything to them, because they have already gone to the next step and they have managed to survive without any government.
Yeah, many of us now are doing like around 10 things to not just survive, to thrive.
Yeah.
And to even make nature, because a lot of people told me not to care about humanity. Excuse me, if we don't care about humanity, who will take care of nature, who will take care of Earth? So yeah, I see a beautiful tomorrow, not a future, even sooner. Yeah, and with the Armenian passport, I can probably come.
Yes, you can.
Because many people waited for 4 days, long queues to do the Lebanese passport under rain and this and that. I did not. Instead, I went as an Armenian. I got my passport, and it's easier. It's easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to come. It's my dream. Dror and I, we used to envy the trees and the birds from both countries, how free they are, flying, and I would go and watch and like wave in my head and send him photos, and he would send me too. I want to come, and I will come.
Yes, one day it will definitely happen, and
very soon. I have a good feeling.
And Faraz, how is it going?
I hope you, Lara, you can come to the UK as well and do some zone raiding here. We need you, man. Need you.
Yeah.
Need you. Our communities, unfortunately, are so asleep. We have to take things one step at a time. I can't talk to them about too much about, well, I will do. I'm not going to say just keep quiet, but regarding action, our politicians, like I said, have gone so rogue on us. We can't doing politics is not going to make much of a difference really to them. They're going to try to press ahead with being part of the one world government.
Yeah.
So
I've been to UK 3 times, and September, hopefully, I'm coming. Even Zurich, France. So wherever we go, we build schools, we do beautiful things. And yeah, UK, it's a dream to come back. Sumiata, you too, you are amazing. Oh, so sweet.
Yes. Yeah. And so people are asking, what can we in Israel do? So maybe this is repeating a little bit, but I think, and I think I know the answer, but what can we do here in Israel? Do you have any ideas on how to show our resistance towards the WHO? Again, as I heard you saying, is focus on building and rebuilding a new society, or a new sort of existence. But apart from that, how can we put pressure on the WHO to you know, to go back from this idea. Yes, Faraz.
Okay,
go
Laura,
ahead.
see you, Laura, and all of you guys.
Yeah.
See.
You're going away?
Yes, I have to go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me, Laura, to this meeting.
We will see you again, I'm sure.
Yeah, inshallah. Okay. Brilliant.
Bye-bye.
Yes, I mean, this is an affirmation what you've been telling me all this time, Laura. But this is we are like a kind of a community government already, and this is my dream to also be this sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're very lucky. You've got the support. While I'm here, I'm full of sheep, concerned with sheepy.
Yeah,
it's hard work.
So yeah, it seems like you are at a similar situation, a little bit like us in Israel. Well, and Laara is several steps ahead in her country.
Yes, man, she is like years ahead, perhaps decades ahead in her work, man. You know, she's already building a decentralized community in Marouj.
Yeah.
Yeah, while I was waking up 10 years ago, talking about we got to do something, she'd already been there. Years ahead, man.
Yeah.
That's the.
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
And finally, hopefully, we can get round to. See, I'm trying to support her project, you know, with through crowdfunding.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a matter of now finally getting some further input before we're finally launching it. So yeah, it's like our mission, decentralization.
Decentralization. Okay.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much for us. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So, Laara, that was really, really, really amazing and very, very thoughtful of you to share your tips and your ideas with us. And yes, it really does seem like you are several steps ahead. So if you don't mind, I'll just give a quick summary here in Hebrew for all the people. So לארה בעצם אומרת שבגלל שאין להם ממשלה בלבנון, אז זה פשוט אילץ את האנשים להתחבר, לדאוג אחד לשני, לתמוך אחד בשני, ללמוד לחיות בעזרת בארטרים ובעזרת כל מיני החלפות ומחירות של חפצים ומתכות כסף זהב למי שיש. היא עוזרת להרבה מאוד אנשים בחינם, אבל גם כאלה שיכולים לשלם, אז היא לוקחת תשלום על טיפולים ועל אומנות ודברים שהיא מייצרת. אז אנחנו בעצם, הטיפ שלה לדעתי בעניין הזה זה פשוט להתחיל ללמוד, לחקור, לייצר דברים משלנו, להתחיל להסתמך אך ורק על עצמנו, כי אין אף אחד אחר. ופרז גם דיבר על זה שהוא נמצא בבריטניה, ושם כנראה רוב האנשים באמת מאוד מאוד לא מודעים למה שקורה, ואצלהם זה באמת כמה צעדים, הרבה מאוד צעדים אחורה. אני חושבת שפחות או יותר בתיאור שלו זה המצב שפחות או יותר הוא גם בישראל כרגע. אז כן, זה הכוח שלנו, וכאן החוזק שלנו, וכאן אנחנו צריכים למצוא את עצמנו מתמודדים ולומדים אחד מהשני בעיקר. אז זה בעצם התמצית של השיחה שלנו היום, ואני מקווה שזה מחזק את האנשים שכאן. במקום להפחיד, זה צריך לחזק, כי אנחנו יכולים. ואז ברגע שה-WHO יבוא עם השטויות שלו, אז מה אכפת לנו? אנחנו מסודרים כבר. All right, as Laara, you nod as if you understand everything that I said, but okay. All right, I think with this, thank you so much, Laara, for all of this. I would like then to pass on the microphone now to James. James, you're still with us, right? So let's hear you. Go ahead.
Thanks, Laura, for sharing all of that. We've been texting back and forth for a month or so now, so it's good to see you and meet you and all this. I hope to leave as much time as possible for questions, so I'm going to be relatively short in what I say. I've said it all before many, many times, and I'm going to put in the chat right now quite a lot of information. And so if people could just bring their attention to the chat and copy what I just put in there so that you have it, there's a number of things in there. First and foremost is my contact information. So please feel free to reach out to me directly at any time. My phone number, my email. On the phone, you can use phone or text message or Signal or WhatsApp or Telegram, whatever your preference is. It's all the same number. If you put my number in your contacts, you should be able to reach me on any of those platforms. Skype as well, for people who may use that. The first link that's in there is an interview that I did on a media channel called the SGT Report. And I honestly don't know that I could do a better job. So just watch that video. Okay, it's as clear as I think I can make it. Almost everything that is out there in the world there's nothing on mainstream media except propaganda, but even on alternative media, everybody is getting this completely confused. And so the two links at the top, the SGT report and the stoptheglobalagenda.com, I really don't know that I could make it any more clear. Now, with people that I've spoken to around the world, please understand that the next meeting of the working group in regards to the amendments is the week of October, first week of October, okay? And the weekend before and the weekend after, there are rumors and plans that, people are going to have various street actions, protests, call them what you want, okay? It's highly likely that the negotiations that occur that week will mostly be secret because they've been secret this whole time. And so we don't know if we're ever going to get the opportunity to see the current status of the negotiations of what they're doing, but put it on your calendar. September 30th, which is a Saturday, to October 8th, which I believe is a Sunday, and the week in between that, there's going to be something going on in regards to the amendments that are being negotiated. Now, in terms of actions, if you go to exitthewho.org, those are all of the groups that I've connected to around the world who are taking various actions. Obviously, this group is doing wonderful stuff. Exitthewho.com is very specific about the United States. On a certain level, we're maybe a little bit, we have an advantage because one of our members of Congress, Andy Biggs, back in January proposed legislation for the United States to leave it, get rid of its membership in the WHO. We currently have 50 members of Congress who have co-sponsored that legislation. That's not enough, but it's not a bad start either, okay? On a personal note and on a much bigger note, okay? I'm working on a project called Health Freedom Bill of Rights. And it is currently an unpublished draft. I'm busy working on improving it every day. I've been working on this actually since the first thing I published about this back on March 24th of 2022. After having done about a month of research, again, more than a year ago, I published a big article about what was then just an idea, the thought, that everybody now calls the pandemic treaty. And so I published an enormous article about the pandemic treaty proposals back in March of 2022. And the very next day, I published the People's Treaty. Now, that's the core of what has grown into the Health Freedom Bill of Rights. It's gone through a handful of variations. I've published numerous things over the past year, but here's what the starting point is, okay? If in your core, if in the core of your being, you believe that you have rights that have been given to you from your creator that supersede whatever authority any person, any people, any corporation, any government agency, if you understand divine law and you live it, you have a different attitude. You have a different energy. You have a Laura Croft energy, right? You're like, oh, we have some problems, but we're going to work on them. We're going to fix them. We're going to bring energy in that is divine to fight back against this evil. And so Health Freedom Bill of Rights, yes, it has been adopted as a resolution and an ordinance in a county in Florida. Yes, it could be adopted by any city or county or state or province or government or what have you. Yes, it could be added to the Constitution of the United States or any other nation's constitution. Yes, it could and should be added as a group of amendments to the WHO Constitution, or it should be part of the principles of the things that they're negotiating now. I also wrote it up as the People's Amendments. Oh, you want to amend international health regulations? I'll show you what I want you to do. You want to have a treaty? I'll show you what should be in the core of that treaty. These are our rights, which you are not going to touch. Now, people misunderstand what is going on in these agreements, but you also have to realize that, you have an agreement with your creator. And you, and Laura is showing me very clearly that, you have the right to have agreements with your fellow men and women. Okay. Hey, I picked some apricots from my apricot tree, or some persimmon, or some oranges, or some lemons. Here, have some lemons, right? The agreement is, I give to you freely from the abundance of nature. Here's some lemons, enjoy them, make a meal, okay? And then that person does something to somebody else, that person does something to somebody else, that person does something to somebody else, and somebody shows up out of the blue, with an apple pie. You don't owe the person who gave you an apple pie any more than the person you gave lemons to owes you lemons, okay? Mother Nature and God is infinite, and when you have an abundance, you share it. And that's how we're going to get through this on a very simplistic level. But it starts with an understanding that whoever says that they have authority to control your life, okay, you don't have to curse them to go to hell. They're on the pathway already. They're headed in that direction. So you don't need to be mean to them, but you can show them a better way. You can ask them, where is your agreement that you have with me that gave you authority over me? Are you my creator? Are you my God? You have authority over me? Do I have a contract with you? Who purports, who is speaking to me? Who are you? Right? I have rights, and I'm going to stand up for them. And unless each individual person is of that mindset and living that spiritual belief, you will be crushed, because ain't nobody coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And so I'll talk a little bit about the details of the schedule. I should be able to share my screen here. And so this is a little graphic that is in the information that I shared with you. Let me just check one thing here to make sure. I thought that I had also shared a document, but yes, there is a document that was uploaded. It's a letter to public servants, and this graphic is right in there. And so there's a short letter that you can share with anyone, any politician, any public servant, any person. But more importantly, read the document itself, download it, read it, print it out. It gives you all of the details in one document. And part of the schedule, many people are unaware that on September 20th, the United Nations has every intention. I trust everyone can see the graphic that I'm sharing.
Yes, we can see that.
Okay. On September 20th, the UN has every intention of adopting what they call a high-level political declaration for pandemic prevention, preparedness, response, and recovery. They're going to do that. They've told us they're going to do it. They're not going to ask us. They've circulated this document, for the last year, and nobody in the media has spoken about it. I'm giving everybody about a month's notice. Read the document. It's on the websites that I shared. See what it is they're doing. The main thing that they're doing is they're saying that the WHO should have $30 billion a year to do the things that they're trying to do. Okay. Track number 2, last year, even though most people think otherwise, the WHO did adopt a small number of amendments to the international health regulations. The appointed delegates who were not elected, not accountable, and largely unknown got together on May 27th, 2022. They adopted amendments to international health regulations. Nobody at all that I have ever seen in any official capacity has talked about these publicly. Okay? There's an 18-month period during which they can be rejected. That ends on December 1st. They're not going to reject them. Now, if you want to get out your phone, if you want to speak into a camera and say, I reject them, I did not give this approval. Who do these people think they are speaking for me, saying that they can change international law without not one single nation having a discussion with the people or the representatives in Congress or Senate or Parliament or whatever? Track number 3 is very similar. There are numerous amendments that are currently being negotiated in secret, and the deadline for those to be submitted technically is mid-January, 4 months in advance of May's World Health Assembly, but it's really before Christmas, because they're having their last meeting in December. As I said earlier, the first week in October is the next meeting that they're going to have. Then they have scheduled one last meeting in December. And, I don't believe that the public is going to have an opportunity to give comment and suggestions. All right. Well, my suggestions as to what should go into the amendments are the Health Freedom Bill of Rights. Where is the voice of the people and the protection of our rights? If you want to amend international law, I'll show you how to amend international law. So that is likely to just simply happen, meaning they're going to have a meeting in October. They're going to do things in secret. They're going to have a meeting in December. They're going home for the holidays. They're going to forward it over to the International Health Regulations Review Committee, 20 handpicked experts that report only to Tedros Ghebreyesus. They'll give him the report and submit it by mid-January. It'll be considered for adoption in May. And then after that, there will be 10 months for every nation on the planet to do what they've been doing for the last 14 months, which is ignore it and hope that nobody pays attention and just wait for time to pass, because this does not come back for an approval. They use something called the silence procedure, which means they say, look, this is what we're doing. And unless you raise a big stink about it and make a lot of noise and reject it, they assume that your silence is consent. So get out your cell phone and record a video and say what you feel about this information. I've given you all the information so you can inform yourself. And if you have any questions, give me a call. Now, track 4 is something that absolutely everybody, there's like a couple of exceptions. I could probably count them on my fingers and toes. Everybody is misunderstanding and misrepresenting what is in what people call the pandemic treaty. It is not what people think it is. And unless you've read it, if you've heard any information about it, you've been misinformed. I can almost guarantee it. And what's not in that document is a 208-page compilation text, which is all of the text that the many nations around the world submitted by April 22nd that they've been keeping secret it's almost April, May, June, July, it's almost 4 months now that they've been keeping secret what many of the nations have said that they actually want to be negotiated. Now, please understand that absolutely none of this has anything whatsoever to do with anybody's health. This is a trade dispute. This is all about money. This is a venture capital prospectus on how to spend the $30 billion that the UN says they want to raise to give to this project, which is not about improving anybody's health. It's not about, giving clean water to people or good, nutritious food or, doing anything to support natural immunity. No, this is a bunch of people getting together, trying to decide how to share intellectual property and the benefits, meaning the profits that come when they find some genetic sequence of some pathogen somewhere, scare the daylights out of people and force them to take drugs and jabs and turn a profit in that fear-mongering terrorism that they call the health system, but I call the pharmaceutical hospital emergency industrial complex. They are not negotiating anything that would make anybody healthier. They're divvying up the spoils of the fear-mongering that they intend to do in the future. And so I'll leave it there. Hopefully people have some questions. There's a lot of information that I put in the chat with all that. There's a letter that you can send to anybody. Obviously, if someone has the capacity to translate any of my work, I think everyone here knows that everything I do is given freely. Please, take it and translate it, use it however you want. I don't need any credit for anything. Call me up if you have any questions, and anything I can do to help, I'm here to serve.
Thank you so much, James. It's amazing. I think one question that I thought about was when you were talking about track 4 and this 200 pages document that is coming as part of the pandemic treaty and proposed requests. So we're not talking here about the suggested amendments to the IHR. This is something else. This is another document, correct?
That's correct. To clarify, okay, there's separate tracks. In what I have as track 3.
Yeah. This one we know about.
Right, the originally submitted document was 197 pages.
Correct.
It was 94 nations submitted 307 amendments. That was way back in December that was made public. On June 2nd of 2023, the Intergovernmental Negotiating Body published what they called the Bureau's text. That's a 43-page, basically excerpt from the 208 pages that all of the nations submitted. So the bureaucracy cherry-picked what they wanted to put into the document that is the thing that they're still not officially negotiating it. Okay, it's still in some never land. They still have not come up with what they call a first draft that would be the basis of the negotiations. And so many of the nations who submitted text and is now being hidden, it's hidden in plain sight. They know they have it, they talk about having it, but they have specifically stated that, we the people don't get to see it. That's a separate 208-page compilation text. If anybody gets it, give me a phone call. You'll be my best, source ever. So, but they're keeping it a tight secret, even though it clearly exists. They will not let anybody see it.
Oh, okay.
And that, what I've learned is that people respond to deadlines, right? People will procrastinate right up to the last minute, but they respond to deadlines. Oh, this is going to happen. You got to take action now, right? Well, the United Nations on September 20th is going to be having a meeting. I'm not psychic, okay? I'm just looking at the calendar, right? Same thing, December 1st and mid-January and so forth, in October, right? If you look at a calendar and you just say, well, this is what they are telling us they are going to do, okay? People respond to deadlines, and it's good to have a schedule, right? And so pay attention. There's hopefully going to be worldwide actions at the end of September, first week of October in there. Put that on your calendar that maybe you're going to do something. And they also respond to secrecy. All right. Have you read the final version of the high-level political declaration that they're going to adopt without any discussion? Right? Secrecy, the lack of public input, and deadlines get people riled up. You could ask a really simple question. Hey, what's your opinion of, and then fill in the blank with a secret document that a person could not possibly have read, right? You want to trigger curiosity and ideally outrage that something is being planned and they have been left out. Hey, did you get the notice about this? Did you hear about that? Did they ask you your opinion? What do you think about it? Oh, you didn't even know. Did you see it on the news? If you go up to a member of parliament or whatever, legislative body, and you go, hey, what is your opinion on this information that's being kept secret? How come you don't have any power to do anything about it? Rather than say to them, I want you to do this, right? You can shame them into saying, how does it feel to be a member of parliament and not be allowed to see this secret information? I thought you had power, but apparently you don't. I was going to reach out to you and ask you to help out, but I don't think you can. The different psychology, you have to understand, we keep using the same psychology, right? How about if you turn it around? Hey, I know you're a health minister, but don't you think it's really sad that even though you have that title, there's nothing you can do about this?
Yeah.
Because they're not doing anything. So, I think we're all making the same mistake over and over and over again, right? We're trying to lecture people to force them to do something, right? How about if you turn it all around and go, I know you have even though you have this position, you have no power and no authority. We're going to just ignore all of this, and we're going to ignore you from now on. You're useless. There's nothing you can do. Why are you even earning, why are you getting a paycheck? Why are you earning money, receiving money from the government? You're useless. You have no power. You have no authority. You cannot stop this if you tried. Quite frankly, it's a more real view of the world, and the embarrassment and the shame and the curiosity of, they don't even know what the document is that you're talking about because they haven't read it. And so use other tactics other than pleading with somebody to do something that they're never going to do anyways. It's clearly useless. They are clearly useless. And so the main job is to raise everyone's awareness and trigger them by outrage due to things being done, things being planned in secret. Okay. This is not a conspiracy theory. There's dates on a calendar. There's meetings that are scheduled. There's documents that are existing on their websites. Nobody, to my knowledge, has ever called me a conspiracy theorist because I don't theorize. I point to their stuff. I go, hey, did you see that section of that document on their website? I'm not making a theory, right? It's clearly a conspiracy because a lot of people are involved, right? But I'm not psychic. I'm not predicting the future. I'm not guessing. I'm saying, look, this is going to happen. You've got a month, to do something about the UN. Spread the word. It's only a 14-page document. Not the final version. We have a slightly older version. Print it out and highlight some issues and say, did you see that they want to give $30 billion to the WHO? For what? Is there a planned audit trail for how that money's going to be spent? Is there a budget as to who gets to decide where that $30 billion is going to go? Oh, the people who are in charge are the manufacturers who make all of these pandemic response products. They get to help decide where that money goes. Does that sound like an idea? That's a good idea, or does that sound like it's conflict of interest headed for corruption at a scale beyond anything you could imagine? Right? So, money, corruption, insider information, conflicts of interest, secrecy, lack of public input, and a schedule that you can lay out right in front of people. A lot of people won't care because they're worried about their job. They're worried about their health. They're worried about paying the bills. They're worried about keeping on the electricity. Okay, fine. Inform them. And I generally trust that 1/2 of 1%, 1 out of 200 people will care. And if you get 1 out of 200 people, you're doing great. The other people will care a little, and they'll be concerned about it, and they'll be thinking about it. And if you give them something really easy that they could do, like, hey, could you just take this image and post it on social media so other people that get to see what's going on? Well, you get 1 out of 200 and 1 out of 200 and 1 out of 200. But then at some point, you've got a great little group here. You've got a couple hundred people, who have been in and out of this meeting. Got 140 people here right now. How many people do each of you know? If you share this information or this recording with everybody you're going to get 1 out of 200 people, right? So I mean no disrespect, because this is a much better, more involved group. But if 1 out of 200 people here call me, I'll be doing great. Okay, that's just how it is. Most people have their life to worry about, and you have to respect that. You just keep telling everybody, and then you'll meet somebody who you rock their world. They go, oh my God, thank you for telling me. I had no idea. Oh, I'm going to do a lot, right? Maybe they know 10,000 people, followers or friends or whatever. So don't keep it a secret. Keeping it a secret is the worst thing you could do. Just share the information with everybody you can.
Thank you very much, James. I completely agree with that. That's the best thing we could probably do. And Jonathan, do you want to ask a question here?
Yes, good evening, James. Big honor. תודה, פשוט תודה. Thank you. A very important question. What we can do? This is, I think, the most important. Everybody likes this question. So what we can do? What we here in Israel understand, there's a few things we can do, and I ask you if there's something we can focus on. The first thing is to have all the what the website have, like to write in the website and agreed about the letter that we bring in our website, to write letters to the ministers and the חברי כנסת. The third thing is just join and be with our community. We have like a 30 working group in all kind of materials. Each one can join the group we like. The other one is just to exactly like that, to spare in the community. If someone live in the south, on the north, or in the middle of the country, can join more people and just if doing explaining or have flyers or in even coffee shops or do kind of activity about this, of course, in a good way. And the other one is just supporting money. It's amazing that we have money to have flyers and maybe have all kind of promotion in the media. So my question is to focus what we can do in September to the UN. This is something new. We just focus until now the WHO, And right now we understand we need to focus on the $30 million the UN bring to the WHO. So what
30 billion. 30 billion.
Billion.
30 milliard. Yeah, milliard. Yeah, billion. It's in Hebrew, it's a milliard, but yeah, it's $30 billion. It's unbelievable. Like how much money for what? People don't know about it. So what me, the simple man in Israel, can do, like send mail to someone, to get to some ambassador in Israel or ambassador in the UN. So what I can do right now, tomorrow morning, get in the morning and write a letter to who? Not to who, to who?
There's a document that I put in the chat. You can download it. That's the core of a letter that could be sent to anybody. And you can certainly take little pieces of it and write your own letter, however you want. But the first step in any action is to get people to be clear and aware of what is going on. So I put a couple of links in there, which are videos, interviews that I've done, that if you go all the way up to where I put all the information in the chat, I try to condense everything all right there. You can share a video with people, you can share an image with people, you can share the PDF with people, but it starts with each individual person actually becoming aware and clear on what is really going on, right? And so then it becomes a very simple question, right? What do you and I'll play act here, right? And it's meant to be rhetorical. Okay, I'm not looking for someone to answer. What do you think about the UN's plan to adopt a political declaration on September 20th to give the WHO $30 billion a year? What's your opinion on that? 99.999999999% of people have no idea what you're talking about. That's how you generate a conversation. Oh, you didn't hear about that. Oh, never mind. You want to talk about some sports? You want to talk about soccer? You want to talk about the weather? You trigger that curiosity. 1 out of 200 people at the end of the conversation will go, can you send me that information? I'm curious about that. Learn how to trigger curiosity. What do you think about the fact that the WHO is negotiating changes to international regulations and they won't let anyone see the documents? Have you seen the 208-page? I'm shifting gears here. This is the framework. What do you think about agreeing to a framework convention like the one that they did with climate change back in 1992, where we would put some unknown bureaucrats in charge of writing all of the detailed protocols sometime in the future without us knowing about it? What's your opinion about that? Do you think that's a good idea? The proper answer across the board with any interaction you have with anybody is people should say, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I have no. Oh, you have no idea. Oh, okay. You want to talk about the soccer game? You trigger the curiosity and then you shut up. And 1 out of 200 people will be like, I want to know more. That is the person you work with. You don't waste your time trying to convince the other 199. They've been made aware. If they don't want to know, they don't want to know. Give them your contact information. Hey, if you want to know more, here's my contact. See, I got to go buy groceries. I got to go to the doctor. I got to go back to work. I got to go pick up my friend, give him a ride. Trigger curiosity. And the people who come back to you are your allies. They want to know more. They're still thinking, right? And they have the time and the energy and the desire to do so. Okay? So everybody here hopefully wanted to know some information. So this is a little bit of a lecture, right? But the way you deal with just people in general, is go, hey, what do you think about, one of the things that I put in there was, please give me your opinion on healthfreedombillofrights.com. Okay. Maybe one out of the 100 and however many people, how many people we got now? Maybe one out of 136 people will give me feedback, and that'll be great. Okay. If everybody else is too busy, that's okay. Trigger the curiosity, ask people for their opinion, ask them for their feedback. Hey, what would you do? What do you think should be done? How would you handle this? Okay. The reality is they don't have the foggiest idea, right? Somebody asked me this, they're going to a meeting in Las Vegas where a bunch of, fancy people are supposed to be. And they asked me what to do. I said, look, take any of them and ask them what their opinion is of something that they have absolutely no idea about. What do you think about the 208-page compilation text in regards to the WHO's negotiations for a framework convention? Okay, the proper answer, the honest answer across the board with everybody should be, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Oh, okay, never mind. If it's a public figure and they leave it there, that's shameful. Okay, if they're a good, thoughtful, still functioning human being, they'll say something like, well, hey, my assistant is right there. Can you talk to my assistant and give him your contact information so that you can share that information with me so we can get up to speed on it? That is a valid answer with somebody, from somebody that you can work with. If they don't do that, they're useless. If they don't have that mindset, that process of, tell me more, I'm really curious. Okay. Now you go up to people and you'll say something like, oh, did you hear these celebrities are getting divorced? They'll be like, oh, tell me more. Tell me more. I want to know more. Right? If you tell them something and they don't show an interest, okay, just let it fester. Just let that curiosity, don't try to give them information. Take it away. You go, oh, okay, I guess you don't care. All right. If they do care, they'll come looking for you. They'll go, hey, tell me more about that. And so I think we just continually make the same mistake. We keep lecturing people who don't want to learn, and the Socratic method of asking questions. If you were a professor in a course and you said, okay, great, hey, everybody in the course, I'm looking for someone who wants to be a professor's teacher's assistant. I'm going to be working on this project. Anybody who's interested, you can stay after class and I'll be over there in the corner. We'll talk about it. Okay. Could have a lecture with 200 people and maybe 5 or 6 people will show up because they're interested. Should he waste his breath trying to convince the other 195? Or, invite people, make people curious, give them a taste, tease them, shame them, use any other emotion you could imagine to give them a little tidbit of something that they should be concerned about. And if they don't come to you, right, it's a very yin yang thing. If you're always aggressive, you're always pushing, they're going to keep backing away. You're too yang, they're going to use the other feminine energy and run away from you, right? But if you give them a taste of something, a little appetizer, and then you back off, if they don't follow and come after you, they're never going to do anything anyways. So don't waste your time.
Yes, that's indeed I think this is the bigger message of this entire evening. Actually, we're almost at the 1 hour 45 minutes into this call, and really, I think the curious thing that happened here is really that Lara gave us the aspect of really come to people and help each other and connect with each other, and then you come with the part of trying to wake up people, but then just by planting a seed, And I think in every one of us that starts talking to, even to family or to friends, we are always planting a seed. And we are, you know, if we manage, we manage. If we don't, then we move on. We really have to move on, because at this point, if people don't realize what's going on, then they're in really deep trouble, I think. So, but then it's up to them.
Right, but that you always give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't mean you ignore them, and or you know, it's like,
yeah.
Hey, you know, if you're curious, give me a call. If you're curious, you know, okay, but then you stop, and you use the other energy. You know, it's really yin and yang. If you're aggressive and forceful and pushing, they're going to run away. They don't want to hear it. Okay, but if you make them curious and you tease them, and you say something like, oh, you know, I'd love to talk to you about it later. Give me a call. I got to go. Boom. Right?
Yeah.
If they don't call, they didn't really want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're calling you and nagging you, going, hey, you were talking about something and it's bugging me. I can't sleep. You know, I need to know. Go have coffee with them and talk about it. You know, that's worth your time. Right? You know, being here with all of you is absolutely worth my time. Absolutely. The last thing in the world I try to do is convince somebody who just doesn't care.
Yeah.
I'd rather be here. But I do got to go. I do got to go right now. So
thank you so much, James.
Please, everybody, save the. I think somebody read.
Yeah, we have the chat saved.
Beautiful.
And we will connect, and we will post all the links and everything on our websites and everything.
Okay.
So thank you so much for your time tonight. And
thank you, everybody.
Have a wonderful.
Have a good day.
Sunday. Bye bye.
Good night. Bye bye.
All right. Okay, everybody. תודה רבה לכולם. אני לא יודעת אם אתם רוצים אולי לפתוח את המיקרופון לקצת שאלות בהצבעה. I don't know if you have some questions. Well, let's do maybe just 15 minutes. But for last questions with Lara, if you would like to raise your hands. No, one moment. בבקשה תשימו את עצמכם על מיוט, תודה. פנינה, את רוצה להגיד משהו? בבקשה.
כן, אני רוצה להגיד שמה שאני הבנתי בסך הכל מהערב הזה, שמעבר של להכין את עצמנו ליום שאחרי, אלא מה אנחנו יכולים לעשות היום, זה אני חושבת שזה להפעיל לחץ על חברי הכנסת, למרות שהכנסת בפגרה, לשלוח את מכתבי הסירוב ל5 אנשים, ליושב ראש הכנסת, לפרופסור אשר שלמון, לשר המשפטים, לשר הבריאות, למי שצריך, ופשוט להפעיל לחץ. אנחנו יודעים שזה קיים, אנחנו יודעים שמדירים אותנו מזה, אנחנו יודעים שמסתירים מאיתנו, ואנחנו מתנגדים. אנחנו יודעים ואנחנו מתנגדים. כאילו, מה שאני מבינה, אבל אני תמיד הבנתי את זה גם